leather gloves were slapping in hands. Popcorn and peanuts were working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick, was chasing the beer that circled the lips. Play ball, play ball. Roll up the bases and smack it right over the wall.
Play ball.
Play ball.
It's not going to be as smooth tonight. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Laughter Saves Lives Live here on Strong Island Television out of Paradise Studios in beautiful downtown, uptown, midtown, Massapequa, New York.
Massapequa. You got
home of a very famous comic. I don't want to say you live here. People may then barrage.
Please. I can't even get out of my house as it is.
Brought to you by the law firm of Barasch and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community. Welcome back. We were on hiatus last week. Yeah, I said hiatus. I know it's hiatus. Okay. We were on hiatus last week, and we're back with John Santo and Les Deegan because we need two people to fill in for Rich Walker. He is just that good.
That's good. Right. Very good.
And John hasn't been on for a while, and Les either. And they said, I'm a little rusty. Let me watch some shows and see what Richie does to carry the show. And they watched a few shows and they go, Richie does nothing. We can do that. Richie sits there and goes, that's it.
He's probably going to watch.
He doesn't watch. He doesn't even watch when he's on. He doesn't even know he's here when he's here. Because I'm ADHD. He's it's terrible.
I'm not ADHD.
Not him. No.
Oh, him.
John, like I'll be talking to him and his eyes, he's looking at like the Paradise Studio logo. You know what I mean? And I'm going, Richie, you're on the air. So he'll be back.
And I'm really old, and Santo's out of shape, and I'm really old.
That's right. And you watched the show. So I said you were out of shape twice.
And
you were watching.
And you only said you were old once.
Yeah, I'm old. Well,
and
listen.
Santo's out of shape.
First of all, I got my 7-Eleven coffee.
Yeah, what is this? You don't
We
drink
want
coffee.
Wawa as a sponsor, though. We want Wawa, but we'll take 7-Eleven.
Wawa. But you don't drink coffee.
This is 10% coffee, 80% milk, and 10% cream. But I want people to think I'm a big boy.
Wait a second, isn't that more than 100%?
No, I thought it out. But
80?
Because sometimes it looks like, you just need to look like a big boy, drinking some coffee. I'm hosting a show.
But you told me you were a city firefighter for 30-some-odd years and you
Didn't
never drank coffee.
Never had a cup of coffee.
Which is like impossible.
No, if I had all the money back I paid for coffee on the FDNY in the commissary, I'm serious.
You'd be retired?
I could buy a car. I could definitely buy a car.
So why did you pay for it? Can't they just say you can
no,
never touch it?
You're in. You're in, brother. Everybody pays 20. I don't drink coffee. You want to say that?
How much was it?
You want to say that to the brothers? Hey, I don't want to pay.
So you skated? So no one noticed in 35 years?
I didn't skate.
You never
I paid.
drank? No, I'm saying
they don't care. Pay the money.
Nobody noticed you didn't drink a cup the whole time?
They don't care. The brothers, come on, you're in or you're out.
That's amazing.
So I was helping my dad today. Well, my daughter moved out of an apartment in Queens. Whole long story. I gave you the story on the phone. I gave you the story. The both of you hung up on me, so I'm not going to do it now. But the bottom line is I said to Dad, let's get some heroes today. Not heroes. I don't need heroes. A sandwich. There's an Italian on Metropolitan Avenue in Mill Village. There's an Italian, deli butcher. Let me go down here. What is the number one thing? Now you think Italian hero.
I know what it's
that makes a good Italian hero. First thing you got to have.
Bread.
But what kind of bread? It's
like really good hero bread.
Soft? Can it be soft or crumbly?
Both.
I don't like
people. Then that's what.
But
you
it was
have to
like
pick.
I thought it was
that one or that one.
I thought it was a day old. They don't even have the bread behind the counter. You had to walk out around. I didn't appreciate the bread.
What did you get? A hero bread?
Chicken cutlets, some fresh mutts, roasted peppers, oil and vinegar.
On semolina.
Oh.
Yeah.
Figgy's the little Jewish guy chimes in and knows what kind of Italian hero he is.
I thought you were yelling out a relative's name. I didn't know what you were doing.
Hey, semolina!
So what did you have? Chicken cutlet,
fresh mutts, roasted peppers. Good sandwich, right?
And what did you put on? What bread?
I put it on a roll, but I thought the roll was a little crumbly. It wasn't fresh.
The round roll?
Just like at City Field, you get sausage and peppers. You need a good roll.
The roll is
they're old.
80% of the. Remember the old pyramid? The bread was the core of that pyramid. And then they changed it.
This is important
They
stuff.
should have
people.
never changed the pyramid.
Yes. So that was that.
So what was the point
That's
of
it.
that?
I'm moving on to the next topic.
Oh,
That was,
I thought
that's
you were
all.
going to complain about the price of pasta.
No.
Okay.
He's starting on me.
No, but because I complain about it too.
When you go to a restaurant, it's like, let me have pasta with sausage, $18.
$18.
What the thing?
It's 10
What's
cents
in
worth
there?
of pasta.
Is there dollars in there? Like, is there dollars in the sausage? What makes it $18? $6.95 it should be. Why does he get me started with the pasta?
I
Every
guess
time
I
he
thought
comes
that's
on.
where you were going. I tried to guess.
You did this to me. You did
This is why I'm hardly ever on the show.
No, I love when you're on the show. I love it. Richie has a rash. That's why he's not here. So
What?
yeah, when Richie gets a rash, you come in.
Did he get it from the table?
No. Home 2 Suites. You know I'm a Hilton guy. So
I'm a Hilton guy too.
flew to Sacramento. By the way,
Oh, I thought you wanted me to go home immediately.
But-
Home, toot sweet.
That's
by
good.
the way,
See what I
by
did
the-
there?
Fist
See?
bump, fist
That's
bump.
why I
Wait,
make
wait,
the
wait.
big bucks.
use those jokes. Could you use those jokes before we go on the air? Get them all out of your system. So I flew out to Sacramento, then out down to LAX. Thank you to the brothers of the California Fire, the bomb squads, and the what do you call it, guys? The fire marshals. Did a class up in Sacramento, flew down, great guys. The trip from, I don't want to say the trip from hell. That sounds a little bit much. My phone died, and I had all my information on the phone. I usually print it out. I get off the plane. I got nothing. I don't know where I'm going, what hotel, nothing. Now I'm thinking old school, right? I'm old, so I go old school. Nobody knows how to give directions anymore. You can't ask like a kid,
You need
hey,
a
do
phone.
you know how to get, they go like, no, don't use your phone. Like, they can't
But
do it.
Somebody of your importance should really have 2 phones. You should have a personal phone and a work phone. This
I'm
way
lucky
you
I
always
had.
have a
I'm lucky
backup.
I had 2 pairs of shorts.
And you should always print
2
it
pairs
out.
of shorts. Bobby's here. Bobby, stick your head in there. This is the guy who runs the show. Stick your head. Just stick your head in there, Bob. Please, just stick your head in there.
He's coming around.
There
He's
he
coming-
is.
There he is.
There he is. Say hello to Bobby, guys.
Without
We don't
Bobby,
have-
there's no show.
And we hope Butch feels better.
Yes.
You know,
Oh,
yeah,
better,
Butch feels
Butch.
better. So,
Yes.
You've got to print out your hotel because you told me
I
on the
always,
phone,
I'm old
you didn't know
school.
your hotel.
I'm old school.
You got to have your hotel, an emergency
I
contact
do that,
number
John.
on
I
paper.
always do it. This trip, I was lazy. Here's what I did, though. I took a step back. I said, Johnny can do this. It's an adventure now, right?
Yes.
I said, I know that I have an Avis car. Get on the shuttle, go to Avis and ask him if they have a GPS. Got to GPS, put in T-Mobile store closest to me. Boom, went into the T-Mobile store. It was crowded. It was crowded.
But you're the president of Left to Save
I
Lives.
walked in, and here's what happened.
Right to the front.
I walked in, and I said to the girl, looked her right in the eye. She goes, can I help you? I said, I am a retired New York City firefighter. Some people think we're heroes, lady. But here's what's going to happen today. You are going to save a firefighter. And she got all excited. She goes, what do you mean? I go, my phone isn't working. Nothing. What should I do? She goes, turn it on and turn it off. How do you turn this? You know everything.
I don't know.
How do you
Android.
turn
I have
my
an iPhone.
Just say it quick. How would you turn it on and turn it off?
The button.
Right. Wrong. I was holding the button, getting the funky icon. She goes, page down, then page down again. And there's this little icon on-off button in the top. What is it?
Power button?
S23. That was it. Got it. Hugged her. Left. Bam. Bada bing. I was out of there. So I had another situation on the trip. Tell me what you would do. I think I talked to Les about
What
this.
was the situation?
Are you going to say anything tonight?
First of all, when John and I travel,
Yes, together.
our traveling secretaries put together our entire
Itinerary.
itinerary, and then they take care of that. So I don't know why you're doing this yourself.
I always do it myself.
You especially with the
now that
the
I'm working for
luggage.
myself now.
You need to put down your address.
Address?
I print out a thing. I have a pre-printed out.
Put it
thing.
around my neck.
No. In the luggage that you check.
Yeah.
Your name, address,
Do
phone
it. Do
number,
it. Do it.
and what hotel you're staying at. Not just this date to this date. Bring it to the hotel.
Okay.
If after that, bring it to my house.
Okay. I can do that.
Big travel tip that very few people do.
When we do that, we do it online, so automatically we get these reminders of the airline, the hotel, the car.
Awesome.
So it's just easy to go on.
You know, I was going for humor here. I wasn't going
Oh.
for a lecture. Here.
Oh.
No, we're
all
also
right.
trying to make sure people
Okay.
know what to
He's
do
like,
when they travel.
idiot.
All right.
Here's how you do it. I did all of that kind of though But anyway, the phone
I'm
was
still
working.
trying to get the lay of the land around
There is
here.
no light. This is like a fire, organized confusion. What do I always say?
Just imagine being the customer service person at T-Mobile when he comes
I
in.
know.
Can't even turn off the
Everybody
phone.
turned around in the store. I'm like, you're gonna save him, and everybody's turning around. What's she gonna do? They clapped when she fixed the phone. And then I walked out. And what did I do? There was a Firehouse Subs. I was very happy. I went right to Firehouse
Subs.
I love Firehouse Subs.
I know. Well, first of
You don't
all,
like 'em?
we've got to recreate this and we got to film it because
Fire-
this is a great sitcom bit.
Oh, it was.
Now we're back to
all
talking
right,
about
now,
heroes.
Now, additional expenses.
Follow the itinerary.
Now, additional expenses on the trip. I kept getting hit with little expenses. Bada bing, bada bing, bada bing. So here's what happened.
Oh, the big one.
I'm
the
not
big
gonna,
one.
Well, the big one was $220 fee. They charged me for overweight luggage. Overweight luggage.
Wait, hold on. Overweight what?
Luggage. Did I
say it
right?
again? Was it the luggage, John?
Yes.
Okay.
Overweight luggage they charged me for. And I called Delta and I said, nobody told me my bag was overweight. She goes, it wasn't your bag. It was the person you were traveling with, Sarah Smith. I said, I was traveling with nobody. They charged me for somebody else's bag. So I said,
Sarah Smith.
He goes, oh, yeah, look, it's not your bag. I said, all right, take it off. He goes, oh, you got to go and fill out some paperwork. I go, why am I doing the work? You made the mistake. Let me finish.
Oh.
Right? So I said, wait a second. This is what you would do because I was thinking of you.
Yeah. Oh,
I said, how about if I call American Express and tell them it's not my charge and I won't deal with Delta? And they go, all right. Hung up. I called American Express. They go, Mr. LaRocchia,
hopefully
we'll
that
take
clears
care of it.
with Delta.
Because I got American Express, the
Right.
black card.
Ooh.
I got the one that costs
black
the
card?
one that costs
Ooh.
$1,000 a year. No, I don't. I got the one that's 25 cents.
The black card is
It's-
only for
it's cardboard.
very, very VIP.
Yeah, mine is cardboard. It's cardboard.
So, so
Yeah, you were going to say something.
yeah, with the what do you know what the maximum weight is for a check bag on a domestic airline?
I don't.
That means that
He knows.
someone does.
Someone does.
50 pounds.
Okay.
I bring a scale with me and I weigh the bag, and if it's anywhere close to 48, I do.
So if you would be at 54 pounds,
You're overweight.
what would you take out?
That's the thing. I had no other bag to take it
That's
out
the
and put
thing.
it
Well,
in
that's why
my backpack.
I would probably try to shift it around my carry-on a little bit. But yeah,
All right, so let me just change topic.
very important to keep
Hilton-
those bags light.
Before we break, Hilton. I'm a Hilton guy. You know I'm a Hilton guy,
I'm
right?
a Hilton guy.
Home 2 Suites, one of their newer products. A few years old, I guess, Home 2 Suites,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
Free breakfast, but a step up from the Hampton Inn. We're not talking the omelet guy like the Hilton Garden. No,
the Embassy Suites have the omelet.
I know,
guy.
but now they're only giving you $10. They're not giving you free. They're giving you $10 off.
That's 'cause
Home
we
2
eat so many
Suites,
omelets.
but a nice little spread. You get the waffles, you can get the ready-made omelets. It wasn't bad. So Home 2 Suites. I stayed there both nights. Then I hopped on a red eye before the storm hit, the big storm.
The big one.
I
But
have-
what's
and
the
him.
differences in the breakfast between the various Hilton properties?
Oh, I don't. You want me to go through all of them?
Not well,
The
quickly.
Hampton Inn only has 2 things. They got the nice potatoes, though. They got the nice potatoes.
So it's all hot. It's not like they're throwing bagels out there.
No. I don't
Okay,
stay.
good.
I don't stay at this place.
Yeah, I
anymore.
like.
No.
I could do the pre-made omelet.
Hilton.
I'm glad you got out. I'm glad you got out before the storm.
And yeah, me
That
too.
was the main.
Me
Oh,
too.
that was big. Yeah, you. could've been
One
stuck
more
there.
thing before we break, Bobby. We're gonna talk pickleball. Give me my pickleball playoffs for this week. Me and my daughter, double elimination, Laughter Saves Lives in bracket B. We were psyched. We were pumped because we thought we could take that bracket. Double elimination. We were home, driving home in the car before they said ball in pickleball. We lost 2 games. Well, we lost 11-6 to 2 pretty good guys. And then we played another team. We lost 11-10.
Well, so that's close.
Yeah, but I had a ball with my 22-year-old daughter playing pickleball this year. We're doing it again starting in a few weeks.
Boy, I wish
We're
I could
joining
play pickleball.
Yeah, I know you hurt yourself. Let's go to.
I broke my hand, hurt myself. I can't. It's my pickleball.
Yeah, you weren't too good anyway.
Oh.
You're out of shape. You're out of shape.
Checo's out of shape.
Let's go to break, and we'll be back with our ladies. Our ladies, Eugenia and Irene. I think I'm just going to say their
Why do I
first
come
names.
here?
I'm going to screw them up. Just their
You're totally
first names.
gonna- you
Ladies,
already screwed it
Irene,
up.
Eugenia. I screwed up Eugenia. We're going to break, Bob.
If you spent time downtown on 9/11 or in the 8 months after, you were exposed to toxic air and may be eligible for compensation from the $10 billion 9/11 Victim Fund. But most people who qualify still haven't claimed what they're entitled to.
I worked downtown. I didn't die. I was an office worker. I felt like there were others who deserved the money more than I did.
A major reason people haven't claimed the money they're due is guilt. They feel guilty claiming funds when others died or were first responders.
I heard there were 9/11 funds, but because I wasn't a first responder, I did not apply.
You do not have to be a first responder to qualify. This fund was created for everyone who worked, lived, or attended school south of Canal Street, who may have experienced or have experienced respiratory illness or any of the 68 cancers linked to the toxins. Even if you have a family history of cancer, there is a presumption linking most cancers to the toxins.
I thought it was too late to make a claim. My spouse worked downtown at a bank and died of cancer. Honestly, I just haven't felt up to it.
The government's $10 billion Victim Fund and Health Program have been permanently extended. You just need to have been below Canal Street on 9/11 or at any time in the following 8 months. To see if you qualify, call or go to 911fund.com to speak to a representative of Barasch and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community.
There are many reasons people who are eligible for compensation are not stepping up to claim it. To those who are holding back, I would say just take the first step. Ask for help. Make the call. It's not too late.
I called and I qualified.
I qualify.
I qualify.
Millions of dollars remain unclaimed. You do not have to be seriously ill to qualify.
Yeah, it was
Sorry.
a fire.
And we're back. Laughter Stage Live. I beat you both. You get it. Laughter Stage Live.
Live. Well, maybe
This is
we can
not
like
good.
you can tell us in advance.
Well, I'm not going to
Yeah.
tell you what.
I've never seen a show like
you
this
play
on any of my
shortstop.
channels.
Does the batter go, I'm going to hit the ball to you next? No, you got to be ready for anything. Right? Am I right?
Well, that's a
Yeah,
good
it's
point,
true,
but
good
I'm
point.
currently not a short.
All right, so let's bring out our ladies. So these two ladies are therapists of a sort. They're going to tell us a lot of good information, but I got to pronounce their names right. First, Eugenia Karahalis, and Irene. Irene, just bring it in. Irene, just pronounce your last name. I'm an idiot. This isn't. Pronounce the last name.
Haji Saba.
Now, I want both of you, out of respect, because when I bring a fireman on, you're captain. Give us your titles and all those letters after your name. I want you to tell us what those mean.
Okay, the letters after our name are LCSW for Licensed Clinical Social Worker.
And did you have some other letters there?
Eugenia,
Did you have some other letters after yours?
I also have the designation of CASAC, which is a Credentialed Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Counselor.
All right. So now, do you guys work together at times now? You're in the same area? And how did you meet?
Well, we do work together, and we met through an organization called havening.org, which we're going to talk about tonight. And we have gone and used this technique. We were working the refugee camps in Greece together for 2 different occasions. And we are trauma therapists. So we, work together. We each have a separate practice.
And we have something a little bit in common that you I know, Irene, I don't know about Eugenia, but you guys were down after 9/11 helping out, correct?
Correct. I volunteered a couple of days a week, 3 days a week for about 6 months at St. Paul's Chapel.
And what did you do there?
I was on the mental health team working with the responders, and mostly what I did is had a lot of coffee and donuts and snacks and a lot of chatting.
Well, you know what? In order to make somebody feel comfortable, I know, let's talk about firefighters, and I'm sure iron workers are the same, whatever. Most men are not good at sharing feelings.
That is correct.
Especially to a stranger. So it takes a lot of donuts and a lot of coffee before they start opening up. So you knew exactly what you were doing.
And Eugenia has a great fire department story.
Let's hear it.
Oh, you're going to love this one, John. I was commissioned through Brookdale Hospital. I was working in Brooklyn at the time, and I was commissioned to go to the 111, 214 in Bed-Stuy, Do or Die. And I would go there every week and basically hang out with the guys, have lunch, and they'd go like this, that one needs help. And I did that for about a year. Irene and I go to Aruba this year, and she says, would you mind if we get together with this woman that I know from the dentist office and her boyfriend on Wednesday? We'll have cocktails, happy hour. I'm like, yeah, sure. We go, and sure enough, one of the man that was with this woman, Bobby, was there. He was there. He was always in the kitchen cooking. He was always telling jokes, and it was unbelievable that all these years later that I would run into him in Aruba, no less.
Yeah, John knows he's been around firefighters. And when I get on the jab, right? We always say jab. How long are you on the jab, right? When I get on a job, there were no female firefighters on the FDNY. Or not, I apologize. They had just started getting on. Brenda Berkman was the first. And we were so used to saying fireman, because there were no. So if I slip sometimes, my daughters correct me immediately, but that's why, So it was mostly men. It still is mostly men. And I know after 9/11, nobody wanted to talk to the therapist. They sent somebody to our firehouse because we lost 19 in the house, right? Every day. Nobody, and that's what it took. What you said. So, Irene, now you have some kind of different type of treatment?
Yeah, Eugenia and I are going to introduce an unbelievable revolutionary treatment, which you could do with a therapist. We both have private practices, or you could do for yourself. And so we're going to talk about that. The one thing that it does in terms of trauma, when trauma gets encoded, it gets stuck. So you could have a traumatic event, and for the next 30 years, every time you think about it, it is as disturbing as it was when it happened. Two scientists, doctors, developed this technique called havening techniques, Dr. Ronald Rudin, Dr. Stephen Rudin, who happen to be twin brothers. So there's a lot of science behind it, even though it's very simple. And John, if you knew the technique when they served you the wrong bread at the sub place, you would have not had a negative reaction.
I'm traumatized, Irene.
You would have had a Zen experience. And when they charged you $228 for another, I want to travel with you. I could overpack another person's luggage. I'm like, this guy needed, with the phone going dead, you had an unbelievably traumatic experience. This technique would have fixed it all, because not only do we use it to heal up trauma, we use it for full potential for lowering anxiety, lowering adrenaline, lowering cortisol. I teach it to everybody I work with, and I do a lot of work with law enforcement, because they are running on the sympathetic system, all this adrenaline, all this cortisol, and it takes a toll over the long run. I'll give you one quick example with a police sergeant. Somebody on his team had gotten shot. He was the first one there, and there's blood everywhere. Now, the guy lived. The guy was fine, but he could not even look at a photo of his officer or look at raspberry gel on cheesecake without having full-blown flashbacks. So I kind of coerced him into it at Police Memorial Week. And at the end, he looks at me, he says, I don't know what happened, but I just did that to be nice to you. I said, that's okay, because I just did it to be nice to you, so we're good.
That's right.
So it's a very powerful, revolutionary, easy peasy technique. And Eugenia's going to show us how to do it, and she's going to talk about some of the positive things it does as well.
All right, go ahead. This is exciting.
Yippee! So, being in the field that we're in, and especially when you're working with substance abusers, you need something that works fast, right? Because the old school of thought was like, go home, fill the tub, Calgon, take me away. We don't have time for that anymore. People are popping pills, they're vaping, they're, flipping open a can of beer or a bottle of wine. So we need techniques that work fast, that are easy to use, that people will remember to use them, and that the effects are long lasting. So what havening ultimately does, not only will it extract and eradicate a traumatic event, and mind you, each person experiencing a traumatic event is very personal to them. We could poo-poo and say like, really? That was traumatizing to you? But it has to do with how it affected the person, right? So each trauma is very individualized and very personal. What we are doing through the havening technique is not only eradicating that trauma so that you're not affected by it anymore, but you're also creating a brain landscape that is resilient. What does that mean? Well, it'll be less permissive to further traumatization. You follow what I'm saying when I say that?
So if I wanted to come into the office and learn this technique, the average person, I guess I'm a little different than the average person, but the average person, how long would it take for them to benefit from the technique where they can use it and
immediate? It's
what do you mean immediate? Like within 10 minutes?
You can benefit from it that quickly. At a minimum, you're going to have a relaxed, calm, peaceful state. So when Irene was speaking earlier about reducing the cortisol, the norepinephrine, the adrenaline, at the same time that those neurochemicals are being reduced, what you are emitting through the use of your arms on your own body, you're releasing oxytocin, GABA, and serotonin. Those are all nice feel-good chemicals.
Do you want to go with me and do this treatment, do a treatment like this?
Is that possible?
Sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, we don't have to sit there together.
Because I get traumatized every time I see him.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe that T-Mobile employee should go.
That would be a good test. How about the guy? Listen, I don't mean to break it, but I was driving down a road the other day, right? One lane this way, and the guy was delivering food on this side, and he opened the door into the street and left it open and walked across the street. And that agitated me. I got a little upset. My wife yelled at me because it was right at the church, and I said, "Hey, dummy, wasn't right." So okay, so Les and I are going to come in.
Let me show you the technique. Okay, there's 3 places in your body, on your body, that you're going to get more what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Help me here.
More impact.
More impact. Okay. So one is on your shoulders, and the higher you place your arms, you're going to release a higher megahertz of delta waves. The delta waves are those nice slow waves, right? And so you just slide your hands down your arm as if you're brushing your worries off at the elbow. So it's a gentle movement, but it's firm, okay? Gentle yet firm. It's like 1/1000, 1 Mississippi. I love myself. I can heal myself, just like that. And you don't actually have to hold your arms up like that. You can rest them on your body. Yeah, no, that's okay, because I want it to be easier for you so you don't get tired easily. And so this is what it looks like. You guys are doing it perfectly. The other place you can do it is on your face. So if you just swoop your hands across your forehead, come down and do
I'm
like a
hoping this is
windshield
a real
wiper.
technique, and you guys weren't sent here to make me look like an ass. That's all I'm saying. I hope this is.
It's a win-win.
No, this makes sense. Like I know that when you hug someone, it can be very therapeutical.
Absolutely.
In effect, this is like hugging yourself.
Absolutely. When a mother gives birth and they put that baby in her arms, the chemical that's being released for the bonding is oxytocin. So didn't I just say a moment ago? You can produce this oxytocin yourself. Okay.
So
So
here's
now
what I
on
would
your
like to
face,
do.
This is great.
I'd like to bring lesson with me. I'll buy you lunch. All right, I'll buy you lunch. I'll bring lesson with me. I gotta say that on the air. I'll buy him lunch. I never do. And then we'll do this technique, and we'll come back and we'll talk about it. And does that sound
How
good?
did you pick lesson, not me?
absolutely. But
I have no stress in my life. I have a daughter.
We'll bring John too. We'll bring John too.
let me just tell you how you could do it discreetly in public. Okay, because you're really not going to walk around like this, as you're standing
Not
online
anymore.
at the bank. So, and you're probably not going to do your face either in public. But
I may.
as long as your palms are touching, you could do this. So I know you guys sit and you have your hands on your knees and you go like this all the time, right? That's called havening. You could do the circular motion as if you're lathering up, right? My favorite is going like this. I'm just like wiping it away. Whatever's troubling me, I am just wiping it away, getting rid of it.
All right.
And oftentimes you'll see both Irene and myself doing this when we have clients in our office, so that we don't take on what, Irene? You wanted to speak
Secondary
about this.
traumatic
Why would
stress.
we be havening when clients are telling us?
Well, you would know this from the fire department. Our exposure to stress, whether it's the news, our jobs, family traumas, illness, that's a cumulative process. And we wind up with trauma symptoms, more adrenaline, more cortisol, more illness down the road. And so when our clients are sharing extremely difficult information, and they're doing this because we want their neurochemistry to calm down, we're also mirroring it with them. So we're watching out for our neurochemistry.
Right. All right. Listen, ladies, we have to go, believe it or not. I wish we had more time, but in a way, no, because I always want the audience to go, oh man, they were good. We want to have them back. So we're going to come into the office first.
Absolutely.
And then we'll have you back and we'll talk about how it worked. You like that?
Yeah, it's great.
All right. So
But they may not want to talk about
is there a
it. Might be-
website or something you want to give out?
You can give them yours.
My website?
Well,
No.
you could go to havening.org. We both are on there.
Okay.
You can
Okay,
find
that's
us on
the
there.
official website.
That's
Right,
the
this
official
is great.
havening.org. Or you can, Irene, yours is just irenehajisava.com, right?
Right.
At
And you can find me through
Stop and
unleashyourfullpotentialnow.com.
Shop, we can find you maybe. You at Stop and Shop a lot?
Stop and Shop.
Ladies, thank you so much. We're going to definitely have you back after we come in. Let's see Irene and Eugenia. All right, let's get Heidi over here. We'll be back. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm Arthur Lee, founder, CEO, and inventor of LifeVac, a simple rescue device that can save a child's life in a choking emergency. All these people were saved with LifeVac. People may not realize that on average, 14 people a day die from choking-related incidents. Every 5 days, one of those is a child.
As simple as place, push, pull.
To learn more, please visit lifevac.net.
That might answer the question. All right, sit down. Heidi's back. We're back. Life to Save Lives.
Live.
With Heidi from LifeVac, Heidi Felix. There she is. We got all in there, Bobby. That's good. That's good. Yeah, we even got John in there.
I'm getting close to last.
So we're excited.
That's even better than this.
We're excited to have you back. Number one, we thank LifeVac for their sponsorship.
Thank
You've
you
been one of our sponsors for a long time, and we're always pumping up the product. Even when I'm teaching my classes, I talk about it.
Thank
by the
you.
way, I never told you that. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about where you are with LifeVac, and to the person out there who's never seen the LifeVac.
Ooh,
because there are some.
Of course, I decided to bring some LifeVacs with me just in case.
I'll keep it.
So for those of you who don't know about LifeVac, we have an airway clearance device that has now saved 1,232 lives.
Wow. Awesome.
But 782 of them are children. So I get this a lot. People go, well, I don't have kids. You don't think you or I could choke today or tomorrow? I mean, I don't wish.
How many times have you done that where you go, oh,
right?
It's scary.
Oh, it is crazy. Just the other day. So I had a throat infection, and they gave me these horse pills, right? These big, huge amounts of fillings. And I had this salivary gland. I mean, you can still see it. It looked like a goiter in my throat. I literally couldn't swallow these things. And I'm thinking to myself, how many people go through that dilemma where you have a great big huge thing that you have to swallow? And and that's just something that you have to do for your own personal health, right? And I wanted to get better because I'm like, antibiotics aren't fun to begin with, right?
No.
But I almost choked. I had my LifeVac right next to me, and I was like,
and you carry one like in your purse. I'm sure.
I literally have it with me everywhere. I'm insane.
Why do you got that big bag, Heidi?
Why you got that big? Well, and it's so funny because right here I have the home kit, and a lot of and John, you were just joking about how John was saying that his wife keeps it in the basement. I go, why would you have it in the basement?
I said it should be
ready.
Yeah.
John talks about his wife a lot on the show.
Well, let's hope that she's not doing it intentionally, so that
Well, I'm just wondering whether
John's you're a big choker, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a piece of bread here. We're not going to do a demonstration.
That's a cookie. That's a
cookie.
cookie.
I do have my mannequin in the car, but I didn't know if we had time for that.
No, I thought I was going to have to choke on it, and you were going to have to save me on the air.
The last time we played
pickles was on my side of the table.
Can I tell you the funny thing? So I'm at the FDIC convention with about 37,000 firefighters, right? And we're right in between, the Colt Stadium, and there's this hallway. And so, and I'm, hey, anybody heard about the LifeVac? Yeah, I heard about that thing. Meanwhile, I had a whole table of these guys that came over. They're like, oh my God, this thing is great. I heard one of my ambulance crews was telling me about this. And so, little did they know that when they got hands-on with this device, all of them were saying this should be on every single rig.
Should be.
This should be in every single ambulance.
It should be.
And you know what? Right to God's ears right up there, because we really truly want that to happen. So anybody know anybody in the FDNY?
Yeah, well,
anybody?
Well, I'll get on board. We'll talk.
No, but but one of the things that we're really passionate about is raising awareness, right? So since so many people, maybe you haven't witnessed an incident where you've choked or somebody.
Very scary.
I was at a Kiwanis function at the Garden City Hotel, and there was an older man. It was corned beef and cabbage because it's St. Patrick's Day. We're doing this big event,
right?
And this older gentleman starts choking. He's right next to me. Now, where's my LifeVac? In the car with the valet, right? So now I'm ready to book out to the car. I'm like, oh my God. And a gentleman who was an EMT literally lifted this guy, and I could hear this guy's ribs cracking. I mean, it was really scary to watch because, nothing that was working. Nothing was, it was a big, huge rod too of, I don't know why he was eating the corned beef, but, needless to say, witnessing it and seeing it firsthand and seeing how scary, watching everybody's face. Oh my God, is he going to live? Is he going to die? I mean, thank God.
People feel helpless.
Right.
You feel so helpless.
But the guy who was, he was an EMT. So, but he was a big guy. So he's lifting this guy.
Yeah, big guy.
Right. Hard. And so one of the things we always try to emphasize is that, again, one of the reasons why Arthur created this device was because he had, and you guys know this story, right? He had a friend who witnessed an incident. It was a 7-year-old child who was wheeled in by EMTs and paramedics into an ER, and the kid died in front of his friend. And Stephen happens to be our VP of operations, one of the best guys you ever want to meet. And so he retold the story to Arthur, and Arthur was like, oh my God, what did they do? They did everything. But that kid was dead on arrival. 10 minutes without oxygen, you're dead. You might as well be dead if you're not, right? And your body's going to go into cardiac arrest. So what's the first thing in CPR, Mr. CPR trainer over here?
I'm not a CPR trainer. It's been a while.
It starts with an A.
Airway.
Clear the airway, right? So clear the airway. So this is what we're saying is that, I get a lot of people, oh, do you do this instead of Heimlich? Well, there's going to be a number of instances where you're not going to ever want to do the Heimlich, right? Again, a frail person, somebody who's bigger, you can't get your arms around. Someone who's in a wheelchair. Do you take them out of the wheelchair?
Or a kid in a child seat.
A child seat, or anybody who's under 2, right? Think about that. We had an incident where a 4-day-old was saved, and the baby was, given formula because the mom was having a difficult time breastfeeding. The formula was very thick, mucus. It was, vomit and mucus. And the father was an EMT. So he used a device in kind of an unconventional way. He literally compressed the apparatus, right?
Right.
Like this. And he placed the mask over the baby's nose. And the baby was not even 6 pounds. It just got out of the hospital.
So it's a little nose would fit in that little hole?
Boom. Well, no. What I'm saying is with a mask, obviously.
Oh, okay.
This is because I brought you one of the free ones.
I'm sorry.
I gave you, I have an extra one for you.
Take out the little mask a second. Keep talking.
So
Let's just show them a little
So
bit.
one of the things we always say, the pediatric mask is 22 pounds.
Can I open it?
You're welcome to open it. Absolutely. So the pediatric mask is designed specifically for 22 pounds and above, right? But we have, as I had mentioned, 782 children. I'd say more than half of them were under 22 pounds, right? There's the video that you just showed, right?
Yes,
Brittany Weir,
yes.
right? And I've been in her backyard. I've met little Mason and her daughter.
Oh,
Meadow.
really?
Oh my God, they're amazing. So her baby was 18 months old at the time this whole thing happened. So he was not 22 pounds, nor was Gabe Kohler, that one's gone viral. There's probably 20 million views on that one. And he was about 10 months old at the time. And, Jane was a PA. So Jane's a pro. She knows what to do. 3
PA,
pros.
tell them what a PA is.
So a physician's assistant or physician's associate is what they'd like to be called now. But they had an EMT, a nurse, as well as a CPR trainer in the restaurant at the time that whole thing happened. Who saved that baby's life?
Life Act.
A father who was a realtor with his travel kit, right?
Wow.
Major Hillard. So again, you never know.
Not a
people
medical
joke
person.
about it all the time. Like, you have your life back with you. Of course I have my life back with me. Because you never
because
know
you
if
believe
I'm
in
gonna
it.
save.
You've seen
But
it.
it wasn't a medical person that did it.
It was a father who was a realtor dining in the restaurant. And I don't think they realized that he was literally sitting right behind them at the time the whole incident unfolded. Now, that's one of the things that you've seen on Inside. The first thing that we had on Inside Edition before Brittany had purchased her device, she saw that in Inside Edition. She said, oh my God, I need that because my Mason always has a tendency to put things in his mouth, right? Which is exactly
as
what
most
had
kids,
happened.
Sure.
It's how kids explore the world. But when I tell you that we just saved a woman who was actually choking on pancakes, 61 years old, her daughter had bought it for her because she had herniated esophagus. So she had issues with regard to swallowing.
Right.
But, another daughter, same thing. At Christmas time, she ended up buying it for her parents.
Great gift. Great gift.
The best gift. But Maggie was being taunted by her brother. It was like, you're a nurse. You got this gift for your dad. Well, on Christmas Day this year, Christmas miracle, the father was choking. And the mom, who of course had gotten this as a gift the night before, grabbed it from under the tree and saved her husband's life. And he would have been dead. Now, again, all these instances, most of them are all when you can't do BLS, right? You can't do
and you don't have
abdominal
medical
tests.
training. A lot of these people don't have
Many of the people don't have medical training.
That's how great this device is.
What is it? How many sizes are there?
So that's a practice mask. The practice mask is really, and I say this all the time, like practice makes perfect, right? So for the lay person who doesn't know what we're talking about here, think about if you ever had a choking incident and you needed to remove the airway obstruction, right? You want to be able to know what you're doing before you actually have this situation happen. So keep that in mind. Inside each one of our kits, we have emergency instructions for use. We also have on the reverse side, practice instructions for use. So that practice mask that you just unfolded right there, right? That practice mask, you would actually show everybody how to use it in your household, in your restaurant, in your business, in your school, right? That's how you do your in-service training. You use the practice mask, you have the practice instructions
you need
for
the
use.
practical hands-on.
Absolutely.
So
you can use it on yourself.
You push it over your face.
It's
Well,
simple
what you want
enough
to do
that
is simple. It's simple enough that anybody can do it, and you could use it on yourself. But you can't. I mean, I'm not going to say that you can't do the Heimlich on yourself. They will tell you in a CPR class, because I'm CPR certified and trained. You go into the corner of a table.
Ouch.
Right. And I know a guy who did it, and he broke his ribs and it punctured his lung. You know what I mean? So I mean, and this guy he's like, I had nobody around to help me, so it wasn't like he could help himself. So here's another story.
We got like 1 minute, 1.5 minutes.
So one other woman who was a paramedic had purchased it for her children, and she was doing the dishes. She started choking on a cherry pit, and she realized that she's going to die in front of her 2 children who are little. And she realized she had the Life Act in her medic kit. She went and used it on herself. She said, never in a million years would I have thought that me, as a paramedic, would be using this to save my own life, right? But she couldn't call. You can't speak when you're having airway obstruction, right? So this is the most important thing. This is why we're here, right? And this is why we sponsor the show, because we know the audience out there are first responders, right? All of those first responders need to have this. Nassau County, our police commissioner, amazing guy, Pat Ryder, put in every single patrol car. We have 4 lives saved. Now, where do we need it? In every patrol car. In every schools everywhere. We actually have legislation proposed right now with an organization called Equal First Aid. We got it passed through the Senate, and then it got roadblocked in the Assembly. We reintroduced it again. All of these kids are dying in schools and from choking, right?
Wow.
So we give them an essential device like this. It's peace of mind, not only for the cafeteria people, the principals, the liability factor if somebody dies on your watch.
Heidi, for those who've never seen it in use, put it on
even a guy who can't turn off his smartphone can use
it. The seal
one.
is the most important
That's
part,
how simple it is.
You use an EC clamp, and you make sure you have a proper seal so that you can make sure that 300 millimeters of mercury is never going to collapse your lung. We've never had an adverse effect. It's got a one-way valve, so you never ever force something further down into the airway.
It's like a plunger.
And it is a plunger.
Yeah.
It's a plunger
for the fish.
But the key is that it's never failed. May I say that again? It's never failed to remove or dislodge an airway obstruction.
All right, listen. Where can people get them? My wife just texted me. You know what she said? There is one in the basement because we eat in the basement. There's also one in the kitchen.
Okay, perfect.
There should be one in every room. You eat in every room, probably.
So lifevac.net. Now, here's another important point that I need to make sure I address with all of you. When people are buying on Amazon, you have to make sure you're buying from an authorized reseller.
Right. Yes.
We have renegade resellers out there that are not selling authentic life hacks.
Right.
They have a picture and a video and it looks like ours. We also have a criminal who's decided to replicate our website. So we need to put this guy down, obviously. Anybody have any good cement shoes for him? Because, but anyway, that's another story for another day.
We'll talk about that off the air.
However, on the other side of that is that we are manufacturing here in the United States, here on Long Island. Wisconsin is where our headquarters and our manufacturing facility is. And we're very proud of that, right? But these other manufacturers over in China are making inferior products that are not FDA registered, they're not patented, and they don't work. If they don't suction, they're not going to save your life. So you think you're getting a deal, you're not getting a deal.
All right, listen, let's
make sure you go to an authorized reseller of LifeVac or come to us directly, lifevac.net.
Lifevac.net.
I am the vice president of sales. And
she's awesome.
And thank you.
And she's awesome. Great job. I'm sorry we had a rush, but lifevac.net. All right, so we're going to bring out our comic. We have a quick break, and then we're going to bring out Mezzi.
Zwanger Passeri has been delivering a true patient-centric experience for the past 70 years. You can always expect to be cared for with compassion, scanned on the latest technology, and a highly trained subspecialized radiologist to interpret your images.
We need you. Hey, we're back. Look, we need you. We need you. You got to fill a spot.
Come on in.
Yeah. So we have Mezzi here. Mezzi, pronounce your last name so I don't mess it up.
Desravine.
Oh, see, I would have screwed that up.
Comment ça va? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Qu'est-ce qui arrive?
I don't know what that is.
Oh.
That's
French for it's happening, baby.
Oh, fancy. I love it.
Miss Mezzi, 30 seconds. Tell us what your day job is. A lot of comics like to say you got a day job. Well, but some of them are heroes. Some of them work in places where we need people who care, who have a heart. Tell them what you do during the day, Mezzi.
So I am a recreation director. I didn't even know that was like a frontline worker, but let's tell me.
Yes.
Okay.
We support you.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, I provide a whole itinerary for my residents. It's the elder community. I'm able to provide them a whole day, like their whole week, their month. They go out, we go in, mental, physical, happy, sad, all that thing.
My dad is not. He's still at home. He doesn't want to go into assisted care facility. But if I knew he was there every day, and somebody with this personality and this energy was there for him, that makes us feel so much better. So you were doing God's work, Missy. Because I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I know you're not making $1 million a year. Part of this is because you love what you do. I
No,
know,
I
I
was gonna say, he just looked at my
know.
bank account
Maybe
before I got it. What are
I
you
know.
talking
Yeah,
about?
I can do that. But what I'm saying is that the profession you chose is because you have a heart and you want to do something good. It's not about money.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I think the universe actually brought. I didn't even know what recreation was. The universe brought me there because my mom worked in a nursing home her whole life, and I just looked up. I was working in radio, and I was like, I'm broke. So I literally was like, let me look up what people do in nursing homes.
Right,
and it was
right.
like, are you fun and outgoing? And I'm like,
Mm.
yeah. And that's how I got into recreation. And like now I'm a recreation director, and I'm like, you're fired. I love firing people.
Awesome.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh.
yeah, she fine. So awesome that she does that. So now we're going to go from Mezzy, the social worker, the assistant care person, to Mezzy, the comic.
Oh,
bam!
Wow.
Mezzy, what's going on, Mezzy?
Oh, I'm Nezzy the comic.
Now you're Mezzy the comic.
Hey,
bam!
now. Yes. So wait, what do you mean? What's going on?
Do some of your shtick. Do some of your stuff.
some of my-
we're
right
supposed
now?
to ask. Yeah, we're
That's
supposed
what you gonna put me on the spot.
What an intro.
Well, yeah,
You
yes.
think it's the craziest thing?
Yes, that's hard. I always do that. So what's going on? Then you just lead into one of your bits. Whatever.
Oh, what
Ready?
are the bits?
What's
I
going on,
forgot
Mezzy?
it. Oh, well, I mean, my real life,
Yes.
I am having a show, my birthday show. Shout out to all the Virgos. You know, there's been a lot of hate about Virgos. I'm like,
Really?
excuse me, we're the best. Okay. Get a Virgo in your life, you'll understand. But it's September 9th. It's in Long Island. And that's
Long
what
Island.
Long Island.
Long Island.
How
Long
would you say
Island.
it?
Long Island.
Long Island.
That's
How
where
do
we
you say
are.
it?
Long Island.
All right,
Long
guys. It was
Island.
a little weird. You said it a little weird.
He
I don't
said
know
saying
what's
Long
going on.
Island.
For long, you got to put long.
Long.
Yes.
All right,
Long
thank you.
Island.
All right, he's speaking English now.
I'm trying to get rid of my accent.
Speaking Long
I love
Island.
it.
All
It
right?
makes me better for movies.
Yeah, so I love but I love Long Island. This is where I spent 20 years of my life. I did a 20-year bid here. But it's like the good kind of bid, not like a Guantanamo Bay kind of
She's
bid.
like 23.
I thought she was like 20 years old.
23. Like
I'm
she
like
spent
20
20 years.
All right,
of
I
your
just want
life.
to tell you guys something.
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys, your viewers know this. Black don't crack. Hello, look at
Ooh,
What you saying? What you talking
See,
about?
she can get away with
We're
that.
not going to get in trouble.
No, we're not
for
saying
that.
that.
No,
We're not
at
saying that.
all.
She
That's
said it.
that's an actual fact. If
Okay.
you look in like the encyclopedia,
She's right.
I think fact number 82, it literally says the blacketh don't cracketh.
Fact.
Okay.
With the if.
which means I'm in trouble.
With the
You cracked it a long time ago, mister.
Which means the Jewett can't do it.
Damn it, Les, you're good.
I'm not going to get in trouble for that, am I?
No.
And I love that because this is Les and I'm Mez.
That's right.
So we're
Oh,
Les and Mez.
Les and Nez.
Les and Nez.
Oh, you guys should do an act together. You should go on the road together.
We gotta get a
Yeah.
stick. We gotta figure.
You
we
got
gotta-
That
Well,
is
we-
a
we
show. We
have
have kind of, sort of.
Yes. Well, no, he did a show, which is awesome. He did our first ever comedy act at my assisted living and my residence.
Now,
My
what
residence.
did Les do during the comedy act?
Well, he was telling jokes. He was telling. It was really good.
Oh, he's telling jokes. All right. I didn't know he did that.
Les
I
does very
I
well
thought
with
he
those
sings. He
shows.
tells jokes too. All right.
He was killing. Is what he was.
Yes, no, you killed it. I mean, you didn't kill any of the residents, thank God. No.
Yeah,
they're
right.
alive and they
Thank
know.
God.
Yes, they're here to tell the story.
So what else is going on, Mezzy? What else you got?
Oh, I'm just spitfiring. Okay. Oh, I just got into my first comedy festival.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Clap it up for me. Glad you're not clapping. It's weird. I feel the love. I feel the love. It's gonna be Uptown Comedy Festival, and it's my first one. And you know what? I was like so against. I was like, I don't think I'm funny enough, and I don't think I'm good enough. And so I finally put it. I just went in.
That's
and
all
I
you
just,
gotta do. Yep.
And you know what? They responded. And they were like, you know what? Out of all the people that responded, I mean, that sent us stuff, yours stuck out as one of the. And I put it on my Instagram, so you know it's not a lie.
Right. Good for you.
Right.
Good
Well, you
for
don't know who the competition is. If we were there, you would have won no problem.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Right?
That's-
So
could
it
you
all
imagine
depends on the competition. If it's us three, you're going to win.
you know what I was thinking? I'm like, could you imagine if it's just like I go up there and it's just me? It's like, well, yeah, that's why you stood out. It's just you, buddy.
Well, when you do your shtick on stage there, what do you talk about? Like, is it family stuff? Is it job stuff?
So my life is a joke,
Right.
in all aspects, like really a joke. So I usually talk about my life. My dating life is horrible.
Well, tell
oh
us,
my
tell
God.
us.
For example,
I was with my ex-boyfriend for 5 years. Oh my God, we were like in love till
Yeah.
he cheated and lied. But he said he didn't cheat and lie because, like, what does a cheater and liar say? I didn't do it.
They lie.
I mean, hello. So I mean, you're thinking I'm skinny. You think I'm naturally this skinny. I am depressed, so that's why I'm this skinny. No, I've actually been skinny like this my whole
Depressed
life.
diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So now I'm like trying to. So a lot of my shtick is just kind of like being a single woman in New York. But then I also date some like pretty decent guys. But then it's like, do they even call me back? Probably not. You got to stick around and see if they call me back. Then I started Facebook dating, which was, I mean,
Ooh.
okay.
What's
you are
Facebook
married.
dating?
Now you have to look at
What's Facebook dating?
No, I read people's stories about Facebook dating. I don't date them.
Is that just you
No,
see
you didn't have to
somebody?
be like-
You
you
meet
didn't have to say it like that. That's actually.
I read the stories.
People saw your face right there. You didn't
Yeah.
say, I didn't.
There's some bad, so like a lot of female comics I know, I read their stories. Woof, brutal.
But you know what? I thought Facebook was an L because like when I was younger, you know, I met my boyfriend when I was 25. So I used to be on like Tinder. That's what you do. Tinder. That's sexy. That's hot. That's
Right.
what people do. When you're 31, right? You like want to elevate your men, right? So I was like, I'm gonna go to Facebook because I know they have somewhat of a background check. You have to have a job, I think, to be on Facebook, right? I think you have to have a job.
I don't think
Do
so.
you? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, why the hell was I on Facebook then?
You know what kind of dating you should do? Stop and shop dating. Go to the supermarket and just walk down the aisles, and everybody's defenses are down. And say, "Hey,
Yep.
how does peaches look over there?" And then you just
A lot of women try to pick me up in the
It's called
laundry aisle
stop
because
and
they're
shop
like, "Why
dating."
is he here?" Because
Yeah.
I do good laundry.
Oh.
But then I have to break the bad news to them that I'm married, so they got to move.
Try
along.
that.
That's hilarious.
Can you give us one more yucky before we
A
shut
yucky.
down? Yeah, one more funny.
Oh, one more. I was like a yucky.
Oh wait a second. Oh yeah. We gotta go. Give me one more
okay,
funny.
one more funny.
Oh my God, the time.
I'm also so I have no kids. My niece, I have a niece and nephew. They're the closest thing I have to kids, and she's convinced because I look so young. She's convinced that I am young. So she tried to get me into a scheme. Okay. So the other day she calls me. She's like, come over. I need you. I'm like, I got you, girl. She's like, wear black shirt, black pants. I'm like, okay, this is weird. You don't usually tell me what.
I like
weird.
weird.
But you know what? I like it. Let's go. Right?
Go for it.
I get there. She's like, we got to go to Checkers. I'm like, all right. What's a Checkers?
What's
She's like,
Checkers?
We're gonna
The
go.
fast food place.
Yeah, but she's like, we're gonna
Oh,
go.
they all went out of business.
No, they didn't. Where are you from?
The one on Massapequa did. It was a beautiful one. Brand new. It was gone in a year.
Oh man, really?
Yeah,
You
terrible.
guys, Massapequa-
I never even got to
All
try
right, we
it.
gotta go,
Okay,
guys.
I'm sorry. Did I
We
say
gotta
the
go.
joke? I didn't even say the joke.
No, finish quick.
Oh, sorry.
The joke is that I ended up. She thought that I could pull up with her and jump the girl. It was she's in 8th grade. She's like, well, you'll fit in perfectly. So it'll be me and you, and we're gonna jump this random girl. And
Right.
Don't worry, you're not gonna get in trouble. I was like, I'm 31. I'm 31. You know that?
I'm 31.
I'm going to jail. I'll be the first one to go to jail. So
Mezzy, where can we find you?
Mezzy, find me on Instagram at Mezzy_D. Find me on Facebook at Mezzy Sarah. And you can find my upcoming shows, everything I'm doing on my website at mezinyamental.com.
Good night, everybody. We're going to the Massapequa Diner.
Lifevac.net. Don't
Laughter
forget.
Exercise Live next week. Live. Night. See ya.
Old leather gloves, we're slapping in hands. Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. He's chasing the beer that circle the lips. Play ball, play ball. Roll up the bases and smack it right over the wall. Play ball. Play ball.